Welcome back to Collective Comics. This is Jake, and I'm here for another book breakdown. This week we're doing King in Black Book 2. This series is so good. I said it last week. If you haven't seen last week, we did number 1 last week. We're going to do number 3 next week, and we're going to keep going until we get all 5 done. Yeah, I talked about it enough last week, but man, I keep talking about it. This art, everything about this book kept me interested till the end. And I couldn't get enough. I just kept reading. I read the whole thing in one sitting, 1 through 5. I just couldn't stop. And this one, the synopsis is not, they didn't say too much. You know, they said, "Hail to the King" in capital letters with an exclamation point. That's all it said. That's all it needed to be said. At the end of the last book, we saw Eddie being dropped from above by Null. And this book starts with him landing amongst the ruins below. Oh man, after being dropped down, he lands and nobody knows if he's alive. Spider-Man comes to try to see if he's alive, try to help him the best he can. He says, protect Dylan. He wants his son to be saved and protected. That's the only thing he's thinking about. Next, we see Null trying to get to him. He sends the heroes that were engulfed by the earth. They're now controlled by him. They're covered in symbiotes and symbiote-like material. They're coming for him. When in flies the Human Torch is there to save the day. We'll see what happens, but he is ready to help any way he can. The Human Torch tells Spider-Man to get Eddie out of here. He's like, I got this. Get him out of here. Get him safe. Get him some help. Spider-Man says fire doesn't hurt them. And Johnny's like, perfect. Then my Nova Blast won't hurt our friends inside. So Spider-Man flies away with Eddie. And next we see him laying in a bed in the Fantastic Four lab. He's got machines hooked up to him. He's hooked up to a heart rate monitor. They're trying to save him. They're trying to do anything they can to keep him alive. Next we see Spider-Man going to talk to Dylan, break him the news. He's there to tell him what happened to his dad. You see it on Dylan's face right away. He's worried. He thinks he's dead. And he might be. We don't really know at this point. We know he's hooked up to the heart rate monitor. There's a heartbeat. But, you know, it's not looking good. When Spider-Man and Dylan get back to the Fantastic Four lab, we see Namor, we see Blade, and we see Black Panther. Everybody's there trying to figure out what they can do to get ahead. Null is running things. He's going crazy. It looks like nothing can be done. When Tony Stark walks in and he says he's got an idea, we need a symbiote. The symbiote is the only way we can defeat him. Namor and Blade go to try to recruit some allies, anybody who's left and willing to fight. They're trying to get everybody they can put together. We see Tony Stark. We see Iron Man going to find his symbiote. We see him fighting a symbiote dragon. Back in the lab, Mr. Fantastic is doing anything he can to keep Eddie alive when we see Dylan's powers come out in a big way as we see Eddie Brock's heart rate monitor flatline. Whoo, man, this book, man. This book number 2 is dark. This one is kind of a sad one, you know, with everything that happened to him. We see the heroes, you know, under the control of Null. We saw Captain America, the Thing. They're all trying to, you know, come after Spider-Man when Spider-Man's just trying to help Eddie. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for the heroes on Earth, y'all. But this book, just like the last one, the artwork, I love the artwork in this book. It is darker. I do tend to lean towards the more cartoony, colorful, you know, books. But this scratches that itch, man. The art in this is crazy. It's really dark. It's either dark or super colorful for me. There's not a lot of in between. But yeah, I said it before and I'll say it again. I could not stop reading this book. If you haven't caught book number 1's breakdown last week, go check it out. If you haven't checked out any of our other videos this week, we had the pull list. We had Lights Comics Action where we drafted our own hero teams. That was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. We have spotlights coming out tomorrow. We had some pretty cool stuff that we brought this week. My wife actually bought me something that I spotlight this week, and as soon as she walked in the door with it, I knew that it was a spotlight. We got Deadpool come out this week. We covered that on the pull list. But other than that, this is the book breakdown, King in Black #2. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Use code Collective Comics to get your own Dubby energy. Get 10% off at checkout when you use that code. Follow the Patreon for more bonus content and material. And until next time, this has been Collective Comics.